Hi everybody, my name is Jean Guadalupe. I'm an Information Systems Specialist, and with me today is Glenda Martin. She is a technology technician for the school district. Today we are going to be installing and configuring a Kronos time clock. There's only myself and soon to be Glenda. We will be installing the clocks throughout the district, so we're going to get this training started. Our handouts is going to tell us what steps to follow and what needs to be, how it needs to be finalized. So what we have here today is what all the components that we need to put up the clock with. You need your toolkit. Right now we have a manual one, but I think sooner or later I'm going to get a drill, a battery operated drill. And then you need to make sure your time clock usually comes in a box. I've already taken it out, and you're going to have your face piece here. Then you're going to assemble it to the actual casing, put the battery pack in it, and then assemble your biometric piece. And this is for your finger scan. These pieces I've already put together. What also you need is, of course, your data cord, your power cord, your Allen wrench, of course, to lock the machine, because you don't want employees messing around in there and saying it doesn't work. And then finally your manager's card. So what Glenda and I are going to do is just make the final pieces connect. So we're going to have to ground some wires. And she's going to, the screw is already in there. We're just going to take it out and reassemble it, because what happens if there's a power surge or whatever goes through, it will fry the motherboard. Did I use that word right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. It's fairly simple, it's easy. Sometimes it gets a little finicky because we don't, some of the parts, it's kind of hard to match up the holes. So that is for our biometric piece. And this is the other part for the biometric piece, and we're going to go ahead and plug that in to the motherboard right there too. And kind of give you a background, what we do is Kronos is our timekeeping system, and so if our district was ever audited, we are able to show all our ins and outs and punches. Only right now the paras and maintenance, child nutrition are on there. Our teachers are not. And we could clock in a couple ways through the computer, through our badges and swiping, finger, or just punching in a number. But I think our district is moving towards biometrics with a computer punch-in, because it kind of, how do you say, keep people from cheating a little bit. Heard a student got a candy bar for punching a teacher in one time. Just saying. So it's like I said, it's fairly easy. All the components are pieced together. So now we're going to go ahead and connect our power up to our battery pack here. So this is going to go in here and attach to the wall. And then here, you want to make sure that you have enough cord. We're going to be posting our cord, putting our cord over there, so we have more than enough. We might even have to tape this up a little, or kind of rig it a little so it's not hanging. So we're going to put it through here and then attach it to, again, to the motherboard here. It gets a little tricky. Okay, just make sure everything's in place. Excuse me. And what you're going to want to do now is we're going to place this up on the wall. Okay. It's good to have two people handy, just so one could hold and spot. You really don't need it. You could put the casing up on here first, but because this piece is so hard to attach, it's easier to lay down and it slides in place versus you trying to hold it. I've broken a couple of the brackets. So what you do is you kind of want to have it lengthwise with anybody who might have a little bit of a disability of being in a wheelchair or crutches or just their height.
So is that too high or is it pretty good?
I think it's pretty good. So we're going to strategically place our screws. She doesn't want to get it too tight yet, just because we're going to have to slide it into place and make sure it's locked. Another key thing is you might want to knock on the wall a little bit. You don't want to hit a stud. That wouldn't be a good thing. Makes it a whole lot harder. You want to slide? You think it's good? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So now you got the two screws in place. It's much easier to screw into the wall, because we're going to have to place another one down here, of course, to make sure it's stable. Some schools actually have these installed on cement walls. For that, I call in maintenance, and of course they assist me with this process, because I do not have those tools for that part. You might want to have, before you install any clocks, or you could have your technician come and test the data ports, because I've installed a clock before where the data port was not even active. So we had to troubleshoot that, and it was quite humorous once I found out. Yay! So what we're going to see here, the clock should automatically start booting up. Before you want to close it all up, see how it kind of hangs there. We want to lock that up once we see it boot up. It should automatically connect with the time zone. If not, we'll manually put that in, and it's military time, and then we'll finish it up by putting in the configuration for the biometrics, and like the IP address, the DSN. See, it's starting up. So what we could do now is go ahead and close it up. We got a little screw here. Here you go. And you want that. You want to make sure you put your all your wires in here, and nothing's hanging out from the sides. Little maintenance tip, you don't ever want to use a wet washcloth or Windex or anything on this. The best thing is those little alcohol pads. You just rub it on here, because sometimes this gets a little dusty, and it takes a couple error tries for your punches to go through. So if it's dirty, just go ahead and clean it off. Is it not working? Oh.
It's just a longer screw than I anticipated.
Yes. So now we are nice and sturdy. What I did ahead of time was we have our little pouch here. Keep our cards and our little Allen wrench in here. These are our essential kits that we keep handy. Only certain people have them. I got with my tech before ahead of time, because you're going to need to configure, you're going to need certain numbers, IP addresses. We're going to need to name this clock, so when we bring it up into our Chronos system, it'll sit there and it'll read and attach. So I got these numbers ahead of time, so it'll be easier to put in. So I'm going to give you this if you want to, and the M card. Here we go. So now what it did is, because it's local, it's someone attached, it's reading our system. So she's going to go to the communication setting. And she's going to go ahead and enter these numbers in. And the numbers are very generic. It's a couple yes or no questions. And she's going to save it. And it's fairly easy. You're just going to hit the up and down button to get to the next one. It's not, unfortunately, it's not a touch screen, but it's a up or down, and then once you get to the very bottom, and you just, it'll save it. And if any of these numbers are incorrect, of course, when you go in and try punching, it's going to look like it's still working, but when you go into actual punch or swipe, it will either error out or it'll just, it won't do anything. And we won't find out until we get into the Kronos side on the website to figure that out. And that's a whole different setup.
Okay, it says it needs to cause a reboot. Scroll down to save.
Oh, you gotta hit enter. I'm sorry, I guess I gotta, there we go. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna go ahead and reboot, and this is, and it's got our time right, it's 3:12 right now, October 9th, 2014, so it is brought up. We have 2 people in the district as of right now. The questions, that she has any questions regarding this, she would, after when she's installed it, you have to contact Andy Hawkins or myself, and what we will do again is go into Kronos on the website and bring it up through the website, attach it, and then it will bring up, it will attach employees to it, so then they can start biometric and scanning that piece, and we'll start the data collection. Do you have any questions on? Here we go.
Okay.
There you go. You got your review.
I was going to
punches.
ask you how long it took to get out of maintenance mode into the regular mode.
And it depends on the time wise. It once you swipe or do any, if it hangs up a little bit, it could be because of the server that's going, or we might it might be a red flag that there might be a problem. But since this went ahead and went through, so we're going to go ahead and make sure the second piece is working. We're going to take out our supervisor card and just to see if the biometric piece is working to enroll an employee. The password automatically is, well, okay, I can't tell you the password, but she knows it, so it's good. So on here, you're going to sit there and see enroll employee. So you're going to go ahead and click that. Of course, I've already been enrolled. We've been enrolled. So I just wanted to see. Go ahead and hit my badge number 3756, I believe, and enter. I'll see it's rejected that. So that might be a problem. So go ahead and go back. Okay, go ahead, enroll employee, and just hit your badge number in there.
I don't have a badge.
You don't have a badge number?
I just swiped my badge.
Carla, do you have a badge number? 3575. And enter. Okay, yep, there you go. She's in there, and it has her name on there, so, which is great. So we know that this piece is working. So we're going to hit no to get back out of that because we don't want to overlap or go over her stuff, her biometric, her fingerprints in there. So what this is, again, you could go in, you're going to take your badge, you're going to swipe it down this way for it to punch, and accepted her punch, which is great, but we're going to have to go in and fix that now, which is, that's fine. And then you could go back out, and then if a person, because the beep there is kind of familiar when it fails or when it takes it, you're going to sit there and hit the review punch right here, and then you would punch in your number. So it's 3757. Number again? 3575. 3575. Oh, that might be a problem.
She has not clocked in today at
We
all.
have not. We have 0, so we're gonna have to double check that one. So there's a couple things that we could troubleshoot and go through, and that is that's kind of the way you kind of learn the ins and outs a little bit. But it shouldn't be a problem because it looks like it is working. I just want to see something correct. Ah, there we go. Found me. I got one transaction. Yay. So I'm here. I'm good. I'm clocked in for the day. Thank goodness, because now I'm about to clock out. And then finally, what it is, I'm on biometrics. And so when I punch in my number, it's going to ask for my finger. And of course, we only do 2 fingers. And then we're just going to lay it gently here. There's a threshold down here that we set, especially for some of the maintenance people, because they do use a lot of cleaning products. So, but other than that, you just go on there and just enroll them, and it should go smoothly. If there are any problems, again, call Andy Hawkins, Glenda Martin, or Jean Guadalupe. I hope you enjoyed and learned something off of this presentation today. You guys have a good night. Thank you.